Yo, 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 what's going on, everyone? Welcome on into a DFS strategy video for the 2026 John Deere Classic. My name is Eric, and I'm here with SweetSpotDFS to go over all the things you're going to need to know on how to target the optimal lineup this week. That includes going over the golf course, the tournament information, the past optimal and GPP winning lineups. Then I'll drop into the bucket system as well as the Marquee Tee Times, because those are the best ways to target the optimal lineup, of course. I will be building lineups for people later on in the video. I only build lineups for those that have a badge next to their name. In order to get a badge next to your name, all you got to do is spend $1.99 a month. Hit the little join button down in the chat if you're here watching live in the chat. If not, go to my channel page, the profile page, and hit the join button there. It's only $1.99. I'll build you lineups and it'll follow the SweetSpot process all the way through. That way you don't have to try to manually do it yourself. It'll all be built in. And don't mind me, I'm just getting the optimizer up for you to see. This is what it looks like. Again, it includes all of the rules that I will be covering throughout this video. If you don't want to follow all of it completely to understand it all, you don't have to. You just hit the run optimizer and it'll spit you out a lineup that is the most optimal following the SweetSpot rules. So I'll be building lineups for people a little bit later. If you want to have access to this, all you gotta do is go under Fantasy Tools. Let me zoom in. Go Fantasy Tools, click on Optimizer, and this will spit you out to another page that looks like this. You put your email address in here, hit the request now, and I will send you the optimizer. Now, it requires me to see it with my own eyeballs. I don't have an automated process just yet to send it to you guys. So bear with me. I will get it out to you as soon as I see it. So if you message me at 4 in the morning, I'm going to be sleeping. I'll try to get it to you by 4 or 5 hours later when I am at work. So yeah, just a reminder, this is a live video, or a live stream. I have people in the chat like Joanne, BMac, AJ Love. What's going on, everybody? There's Logan. Nice to see you, Logan. I know this, I'm going to sound like a broken record, and I am sorry, but I went out to FedEx yesterday to send out your shirt, and it was closed. It was closed an hour earlier than Google told me it was. So I apologize. It is difficult to, I go into work. Once I'm back, it's difficult to then get back out to a place to ship it. So by Friday, I will send it to you. So Friday, I have the day off and the post office is still open. So I'll get it to you then. Jim Lemoyne's in the chat too. What's going on, Jim? Nice to see you. I'll read you guys' messages here a little later. I just noticed everyone here in the chat. Just a reminder, I like to do giveaways weekly and monthly. So every week I give out $5. The way to participate is subscribing to the channel and commenting. These videos, after they're live, go on replay. When they're on replay, all you got to do is go down in the comment section and just type in anything. Now, there is something in the description that will double your amount of entries that you can gain. Very easy, very simple to do. It only takes one entry to win, and $5 is $5. I send it through Venmo, PayPal, or Google Pay. Any of those three, or you can bank them like Nathan Johnson typically does, Joanne does, because I have put a hat order in, everybody. So I will have an all white hat and an all black hat. Let me see if I can find it actually. Hold on. I should have a picture for you guys to see. Okay. Found it. Give me a second. Give me a second. Oh my God. I'm going to take a screenshot of it actually. All right. Here. This is what it looks like She sent me a proof. So I'm gonna get a bunch of white hats that look like this, and then I'm gonna get a bunch of black hats that will look like this with white lettering. So I got 12 hats. These are actually cheaper than the ones that I originally ordered. I'm also gonna get different kind as well. I don't know what the final total will be, but I think these are gonna be like $30 a piece. So if you want one of these hats, it'll be $30. So yeah. What's going on, Double J? Nice to see you. All right, back to this. Yeah, $5 weekly, monthly. I run it the first Tuesday of the new month. That is going to be next Tuesday. So if you want some entries into the monthly giveaway, this is your last week to get them. So obviously participate, earn your entries. Simple as that. And then, yeah, next Tuesday, I will be streaming for you guys. I was just thinking about it. I'm also going to be playing in the Minnesota State Open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I don't know what my tee time is going to be on Tuesday. If it's in the afternoon, this might be a late stream, but I'll have everything updated and ready to go for every one of you. So yeah. And you'll get a membership to SweetSpotDFS.com. That's the monthly giveaway. If we can reach 1,000 subscribers, then we'll hit the goal, and I will give a t-shirt away as well. That leads me on to this giveaway, the $1,000 SweetSpotDFS.com giveaway. Once we reach 1,000 subscribers on this channel, I give out $1,000 worth of giveaways. A lifetime membership to SweetSpotDFS.com. Annual membership, which we can start at the beginning of the new year next year, and then two $100 cash giveaways. But I'm gonna say this: I'll double that. I will double the $100 cash giveaways and give out 6 entries if we can reach 1,000 subscribers by the Open Championship. By the Open Championship, I'll double the cash giveaway. So if you are here on the channel and you're bored as hell right now because I'm going through all of the housekeeping items, all the giveaway reminders and stuff like that, if you're not subscribed, if you subscribe, you comment, you're going to get an entry into this giveaway. Actually, you don't even have to comment. You got to go to SweetSpotDFS.com, create yourself a free account, because I'm going to take the distribution list that comes from all the members, and then I'm going to pull from there in order to get that winner. So hopefully we can get to 1,000 by the Open Championship. If not, I don't see us getting to 1,000 subscribers until next year. I think that's what it's going to end up being, because it's going to be the last major of the year. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Do your best if you guys can get some people to subscribe. I'll do my best to get new people to subscribe that I know. So anyways, Jim Lemoyne, you know what's funny? I see all the other messages going on. I haven't read all of them, so I apologize. Jim, I had a buddy who almost withdrew on me because he got an injury, and he called me today to be like, "Do you still need a caddy?" ... And I was like, "Well, I don't have anybody else, really in mind. Like, I have a couple people, but I'd rather carry my own bag." So Jim, if you're serious, I might. If he flakes out on me, I'll need a backup caddy. But you need to have Monday through Wednesday off. And I don't know my tee times yet. It'll be a morning, afternoon, because it's 156 people in the field. Yeah, there's a cut after 36 holes. So yeah, fun stuff, right? Again, you know what? Let's run the giveaway first. And then I'll acknowledge the chat with everybody that's in there. We had 16 total entries, 2 roll calls last week, and then the YouTube comments. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and hit the drum roll. Denny Barry, congratulations, Denny. Denny getting it done. You get $5 towards you. 3 entries. This one was for the YouTube comments that he left after I went live. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Okay, so I'll add these to the monthly giveaway. We're up to 86 total entries, so hopefully you guys get in on that. Hopefully you also got to watch Byron and my stream Sunday night, because this is Byron Lindecue's, the Back Nine Bets on YouTube, the Model Maniac on X.com. His Patreon also, I think, is the Model Maniac. We went over the John Deere Classic in depth, and it was good. It was really good. I'll try to brush up on some of it a little bit towards the end when we start building lineups. But yeah, go check it out. I mean, I put timestamps in my video so you can go back to, or you can go forward, I should say, and check out all the good stuff there. But oof, that was a good one. That was a great one. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to acknowledge the chat because I saw lots of messages. Joanne, if you're still in the chat, good evening to you. Sorry I'm on late. I know you don't really like late streams, but again, middle of summer, it's difficult. I need to practice and do all the things that I need to do. BMac, what's up? Wheels, what's going on? You playing E? What you talking about? What you talking about? Making money as always. AJ goes, I had another one day of being in the top 50, and then the last 2 weeks, day 2, here come the bums. Oh. So the layoff is official, even though there's a potential that we will be getting news on a new alternative service very soon. On a different note, ... Those bums, I'm telling you. I took 4th place in the FanDuel contest today and won $64, plus about $15 between DraftKings and FanDuel. There you go. Already said hello to Jim, but hello again. It's been a really mixed bag of blended results, but I have a bunch of other playable tickets remaining on FanDuel for this week, so wish me luck. Well, good luck. Good luck, Logan. I did with all you in mind. I'm playing more bums this week. That's right. Hey, I know that guy. Bink. Yeah, congrats, Logan. Thank your people. A late stream for a reason. Good luck, Eric. What's the GGID of the Minnesota State Open so we can follow? The what ID? The GGID? Hold on. There you go. Go check it out. Drill down on that. You'll see everything that you need to see. That's the leaderboard. You can follow along there. Cool. All right. Let's get into this thing for all those that oh, okay. For all of those that are waiting, here we go. Let's get into the golf course and tournament information. All right, so I'll be using my website, SweetSpotDFS.com. There's a link for it in the description. Everything will be on this site that I will be covering today. So what I like to do is start here under Fantasy Tools, Tournament Stats, click in John Deere Classic, or type in John Deere Classic. And what we're going to find is kind of a culmination of stats. So up here we have summaries. We have 21 under as the average winning score. The lowest winning score is -28, and Davis Thompson did that in 2024. The highest win score is -18, so this is going to be a high-scoring event. Lowest cut score is -5, highest cut score is -2, with an average cut score of 3.5, 3.5 under, 3.5 under. Strength of field averages about 143, but Byron and I came over this in 2022 trying to figure out what the heck happened in 2022. 53 was the strength of field. 2019 was 76. In 2016, it was 79. And then in 2018, it was 99. So it really has never had a strong strength of field. However, if you look at all of the years, this year is projected to have a higher strength of field. Now, I have not updated this number since someone just withdrew that took some strength of field points away. It wasn't Johnny Vegas. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm trying to. Whatever. So it is currently... Oh, no. I forgot. Hit the cheat sheet. I think I did, guys. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. Well, I'm going to be doing that in the background as I'm talking about this. So if I seem distracted, my apologies. I probably am. So the strength of field that I remember it being is 209. So 209 is supposed to be the strength of field this week, which would tie the highest strength of field that we've ever had here. Which again, 209, which was last year. So with all of this information, what we can do is use any of the tools on SweetSpotDFS.com under fantasy tools, whether it's strokes gain stats, round by round stats, not lead in stats, but pass optimal lineups, all that kind of stuff. I like to go to of course, I don't have the strokes gain stats up and loaded, but I do like to go to the strokes gain stats page because this is the best place to use this. Under tournament stats filter, strength of field, you might as well just keep it at 4 and bump this up to 250. Actually, let's go 75 to 250. And this is kind of pointless because I need to make the updates in order for this box up here to populate. We're going to go ahead and skip that, but basically use all the filters here after I make the updates that are required. Use all the filters based off of the tournament stats pieces of data that you see here. These are all data points. The reason that I go over the tournament and I haven't uploaded it. That's what it is. Again, sorry for the distraction. Yeah, these are all data points to use for the filters on the website. That's the whole purpose of these data points. The other thing we can look at is the golf course. These are more data points you can use. What this page does more so than the other pages, it gives you the grass stats, it gives you the architect, the yardage, the par, all that stuff, because again, you can use all of those filters right here. We've got grass stats filters that you can use to check out which golfers are the best, whatever you're looking at, whatever filter you're putting on. Obviously we want bent grass, so that's what I would put on here. I wish it was easy to multitask because I am currently updating. Oh, you know what? I understand what went wrong. I forgot to refresh my database. That's what caused the issues. That's what's been causing the issues. Oh my God. And now it's paused on me. Wonderful. Okay, well, you know what? What I'm going to do, I'm going to wait for this. What a disaster. Please X out. Oh my God. Okay, we're going to move on to the next segment. I apologize for those that look at all of this and determine, oh, this is what I want to see. I want to see all the best players in the field this week, what their strokes gain total is based off the filters that are provided. I can't do that right now because streaming takes up PC power, and currently I can't. What's going on? Seriously. Oh my God, dude. I can't even see where that is. Where's that located? All right, whatever. We're moving on. Can't do that, but I'm gonna need to do it for the. I need to update it for the looking at the cheat sheet later on. I think I got it. Bear with me. Bear with me. I'm not moving on until I make the updates. I'll put on some music for you guys. I haven't heard this. I don't think I've ever played this one. Hey, there we go. Question on Patrick Adler, who is he? No idea. I got no clue. He's a qualifier or a sponsor invite from all that I remember. He's a golfer you shouldn't play, Logan. That's who he is. All right. Come on, make the update already. I don't know how many times I have to hit refresh in order for the website to finally pull it in. Come on, hurry it up. Unbelievable. Yes, Danny, you won. You won 5 buckarooskies. For those that are just tuning in now, I forgot to hit publish last night when I was making all my updates and thought everything was good to go. So this is my fault. I didn't check. Or I didn't validate. Yeah, I didn't check. Didn't validate. Same thing. Jim, I qualified for it. I qualified for it down in Waseca, of all places. Waseca, Minnesota. There we go. You know what? I think this deserves a round of applause. That was so difficult. Oh, it's not gonna work for me. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, I guess I don't get one. The hell? We are broken today. Holy. Oh my God. It's the settings. This is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Well. Oh my God. If anything could go wrong today, it is going wrong. Holy. This is a little bit funny. I'm glad that I'm providing some entertainment. This is ridiculous. Oh, I guess my soundboard's broken? I had the drum roll working. Do I get songs? Okay, that works. But I don't get this crowd noise. Oh my God. What the hell? Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. Oof. What a issue. It's always entertainment, just more so. You like when I struggle. That's what it sounds like. Okay. So there's no point in going backwards and talking about golf course and tournament information. But like I was saying with all the filters and stuff like that, if we were to go ahead and put in 100 to 250 for the strength of field, hey, here are your best golfers. Brian Campbell, of all people. I mean, only 4 rounds. Remember that. If you want more rounds than that, actually, let's change this date to July 2nd. And we can move it back a little bit. And now it's still Brian Campbell, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Campbell has played really well on these week events. Finau, Homa, Spieth, Potgieter, Sungjae, Eric Cole, Danny Berger, Griffin, and Boshu. Those are your top dudes. Your top guys. Do something like that. Okay. That's just one filter. Let's check out who our best bent grass golfers are in the field. I wouldn't put multiple filters on. It's just going to make things a little bit tougher. So we'll go with bent grass greens. And Jackson Koiven is at the top, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Griffin, Goddard, Michael Thorbjornsen, Mitchell, Hoey, Boshu, Homa, Blades Brown, Dylan Fratelli. I wouldn't really worry too much about Dylan Fratelli. But we see a lot of the same names up at the top. Griffin, Mitchell, Boshu, Homa. Homa's been popping up. I think he was Kenny's hustler play of the week. So that's not, you could go, you could do worse. You could do worse. Anyways, just giving you a little something from there. Now we're going to move on to pass optimal and GPP wing lineups, because now that everything's been fixed, we can just move on. You were looking up a map of Waseca, Minnesota. It's by Sioux Falls? What? No, it's not. Sioux Falls, South Dakota? What you talking about, Willis? It's like it's directly south of the Twin Cities. You have to go way west in order to get to Sioux Falls. I'm not seeing Sioux Falls whatsoever. It's Yeah, no, I don't think it's that close. Okay. Here we go. Pass optimal and GPP winning lineups. Hey, we don't have Scotty Scheffler this week, everybody. We don't have to figure out what to do there. By the way, we're spot on when it comes to Scotty Scheffler. What to do in those particular things, especially with the buckets, especially with lineup building. I mean, it's almost 100%. If Scotty Scheffler, it's not 100. It's like 80%. If Scotty Scheffler's in the field and he's not a part of, you know, the best lineup you can build, it's always been a 10-9-8-7-7-6. One time it was 9-9-9-7-7-7, but everything else has been 10-9-8-7-7-6. I don't know if we're going to get that this week at the John Deere Classic, because if we look at all of the successful lineups of the John Deere Classic, and by the way, if you're new to the channel, what I like to do, or what I do on this website, what I do with my data, I keep track of the GPP winning lineup, the optimal lineup, and the sweet spot optimal for every single tournament dating back to 2017, because that's when DraftKings basically started doing salaries for every PGA Tour event. It was more in the middle of the year of 2017, and then everything moving forward had contests and salaries for them, and I've been keeping track of each of these lineups since then. Some of them I missed with the GPP winner. That was just, I might be able to go back and find those at some point in time, but I just don't have them for everything in 2017, but I have them for everything 2018 and on. So just throwing that out there. But I keep track of these three lineups, and those three lineups can be shown here in the summary. This is a little summary of what lineup builds have worked here at the John Deere Classic. I also have a feeling that a lot of money has been left on the table for every optimal lineup. So if I drill into just the optimal lineup for the John Deere Classic, I did select that as the tournament, and we look down here. Last year, your optimal lineup left nearly $10,000 on the table. In 2024, it left $2,500 on the table, only left $300 on the table in 2023, and that was a 10-8-8-7-7-7 build. 2022, it left $2,700 on the table. In 2021, it used up all $50,000 of the salary, and that was a 9, 4 8s, and a 6. That's a Chad Eckert special. That is a peppering the 8K range. And then 48.4 in 2019, 48,000 in 2018, and then it left only $400 on the table in 2017, and that was a 10, 9, 3 7s, and a 6. So when you're on this page under Fantasy Tools Historic Salary Builds, again, this is at SweetSpotDFS.com. I have currently, it's drilled into optimal lineup. We're looking at all the optimal lineups. If you drill into the little crosshairs here, and we look down here at the historic lineup filters, if we go ahead and put 49.6 as the minimum salary to use, we can see those three lineups right here, and we can also see what type of lineup builds they are. Now, two of them start with a 10K golfer. But then it just changed. I mean, it's three absolutely different types of lineup builds. And I think that best illustrates this type of event. It's very volatile. 10, 2 8s, 3 7s, 10, 9, 3 7s, and a 6. And then no 7s in the other lineup. A 9, 4 8s, and a 6. There isn't any commonality with any of these lineups because they are missing a salary in each one of them. You know, the 10, 2 8s, 3 7s, that's missing a 9K and a 6K. The 10, 9, 3 7s, and a 6 is missing an 8K. The 9, 4 8s, and a 6 is missing a 10K and a 7K. That's the optimal lineup. When it comes to like a more realistic way of getting there, you know, a lot of people complain about, why do we look at the optimal lineup? It's almost impossible to get if you're leaving $10,000 on the table. Well, yeah, we're not looking at $10,000 on the table. We're only looking at $400 on the table or less. So these are more realistic. That's what I like to look. But you can zoom out, you know, don't drill into any of these lineups. Now we get to see all of them that use 49.6 of the salary and above. So we're leaving no more than $400 on the table. And so you get a bit better of a summary as to, you know, should you start in the 10K range? Should you start in the 9K range? We have all these little boxes right here that kind of show you which salaries have been successful every single year, or for every single lineup, I should say. So, you know, if we scroll down, you can see this is looking at 16 total lineups. Of those 16 lineups, half of them have a 10K golfer in them. 70%, nearly 70% have a 9K golfer in them. 75% have a 12K golfer in, or 8K, geez. I saw the number 12. 75% have an 8K golfer in them. Almost 100% of them have a 7K golfer. So I think it's just easy to note we do want a 7K golfer in our lineups. And then you can just eyeball all of them right here. You can eyeball what type of lineup they are, how much the max salary of each of these golfers were. We can even sort by this just to see what the minimum salary was for the maximum. So what was the lowest priced guy in that max salary column? And it's $9,500 in 2021 and also in 2022, but then it's $9,600 and above from there. So if you go to the cheat sheet on SweetSpotDFS.com, this is free for everybody. You can see basically 96 and below starts with Bridgman. It only excludes Keegan Bradley, Keith Mitchell, Ben Griffin, and Chris Goddard. And if you were to ask me, do you feel confident in any of those guys 100% making the cut? It would be obviously no. I do not feel confident. So if you wanted to right away start with Jacob Bridgman or even Jackson Koivin, go for it. Jackson Koivin's probably going to be a very popular golfer to pick. And by the way, I also can see a 9-9-8-8-7-7 type of build this week. I know Jim's in there going 10-9-8-3-7s this week. It could possibly be that way. I like Ben Griffin quite a bit. I also like Keith Mitchell. But I could also see a 9-9-8-8-7-7 like this right here. And that was your GPP winner in 2021. It was also your GPP winner, or your Sweet Spot Optimal in 2022. They both started with the $9,500 golfer. So that's kind of what I'm getting at, is like it. You could very well go with that type of lineup, and I think it's going to work because I do like the 8K range. And again, if you watched what Byron and I talked about Sunday night, go check out that preview video. We literally, that was one of the deepest dives we've ever done for an event outside of the majors. This is because it's Byron's event. You know, it's the John Deere Classic. He's going to be there all 4 days, so go check him out if you can make the trip. But and by the way, it's going to be really easy to spot him. He wears very loud clothing or very loud shirts, and he's going to walk around with just the way he struts. You'll know Byron when you see him. So yeah, we did a huge deep dive, and a lot of the golfers we liked were in the 8K range. So I think there's going to be several options. And when we get to lineup building, I'm going to tell you the basically 6 to 8 golfers that were in our player pools. I'll show you what that looks like. So yeah. If you want to do a little bit more of a deeper dive when it comes to pass optimal and GPP lineups, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I just wanted to kind of create a little bit of a summary here. I don't want to spend up too much time. But what you could do is basically drill into any of this information. Obviously, put the John Deere Classic. However you want to research what successful lineups look like at the John Deere Classic based off of the golfers in the field or the price points that we have, you can do that here. And then also for this page, this is called the Pass Optimal and GPP Winning Lineups. Again, I would go ahead and put like the John Deere Classic in, or whatever you're filtering, just match whatever you're doing on the historic salary builds over here to the Pass Optimal lineups. And again, remember in 2021, I think it was a GPP winner. It only used $9,500 of the salary. It was 9-9-8-8-7-7. This will show you what that looks like. It'll show you how much money was spent, how many points were scored, the total ownership, 95, 9,000, 86, 83, 73, 73. I think there was one in 2022 as well. That was a 9-9-8-8. Oh no, this was 9. Or Sweet Spot Optimal is what I probably want to look at. Yeah, here we go. So your Sweet Spot Optimal in 2022 also went 99, 88, 77. That was 95, 91, 84, 8, 75, 73. So again, it's just, it gives you ideas on how to make these, how to build these lineups and what makes sense to you guys. These are wonderful tools. I couldn't be more proud of these two tools. Also, the bucket system is one of my favorite tools on this website. I always look at all that just to get the microscopic detail of stats that you won't get anywhere else. So go check it out if you haven't already. That's all I have for the Pass Optimal and GPP winning lineups. I'm going to go ahead and check out the chat and see what else we see. But we have Brian Campbell. Woohoo! Scotty sucked. How does he lose to Hovland? If you watch Byron and my show Sunday night, I kind of said Hovland was going to win. It wasn't even that it was a shoo-in that he was going to win, but strong leans that it was Hovland's tournament to lose. Scotty Scheffler sucks on hole number 18 at the Travelers. I think one of the few things that I actually like what Blickle said on Pat Mayo's podcast or on his video was alignment is off with Scotty with his putting. His putter's just been kind of bad this year. Like it's reverted back to what it looked like 2-3 years ago. He's just not been a very good putter lately. And how do you miss a 3-foot putt? How do you miss a 3-foot putt? I don't know. I don't know how you miss a 3-foot putt. People will say it's 2 feet. It was 2 feet 8 inches. That's 3 feet. It's closer to 3 feet than it is to 2 feet flat, you know? But yeah, 3 foot. That's terrible. Yeah, AJ just said it because Scotty can't putt. Jim Lim1 goes, I miss Chad in the space. Housing market must be keeping him busy or family. Oh, I'm not going to speak for him. I haven't really talked that much to him in the last year and a half, but basically on the tail end of his podcasting career, everything I've heard from everyone around him basically said his wife put the kibosh on it. And also at the same time, well, I think it's that. I think that's the key driving force. But at the same time, Chad kind of was like, well, what's the purpose? Like nobody is, like people stopped. There was a big boom during COVID and then it kind of just slowed down. And I'll be honest here. This is probably something I should leave for members only, but I warned him about what YouTube does if you use copyright videos on your streams. It's in our TOS, terms of service. You get one warning that your stuff is TOS or it's copyright. You have to remove it. He never removed his copyright material. So he gained 10,000 subscribers or whatever it was. And so he was monetizing off his YouTube. Well, then what did he do? He put a second video that was copyrighted onto his YouTube, and YouTube straight up banned him from making money because he didn't take him off of his site. It's literally on TOS. It's literally like it. Even when I get a copyright, it warns me and says, well, you got some options here. You're not going to get demonetized, but you can do whatever. Well, Chad got demonetized. It wasn't that he was banned forever. I think it was like a 1-year ban or something like that. And then so he just lost interest because it's like going backwards. Oh, and then I think that channel actually just got banned outright. So he created a new one, and then it took forever to gain subscribers. And so since he wasn't making additional money there and it didn't seem like anybody was really, whatever, he just quit. But yeah, it is what it is. Chad's a family man. Like he took his responsibilities seriously, and he decided I can't continue doing this because I've got a family of 3 children and a wife that I need to take care of, as well as a new house and all that stuff. Like, so he's just already busy, and I think he got he took a, well, he works for his mom, or he works at his mom's company, and I think he took a more important role there. So yeah, anyways, I agree, dude. Cracking beers and clicking names. It'd be fun to have Chad, you know, doing this again, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. I built 2 blindly, have 4 more, maybe more if baseball players can hit the ball. I don't know what that means. Okay. Moving on to, how about this? Let's do, before I get into the bucket system, let's go ahead and do a roll call. Who is this? Chad? Logan, you've never saw Chad Eckert, or you never watched the Fantasy Golf Pod? He's the one that started Joe Idoni in the Preferred Lines. He started that podcast with Joe. Present. Give me your winner. That is the roll call. And if you need to look at some golfers, here you go. Here are your golfers. I'm sure some of you guys haven't really looked at it. Goddard, Ben Griffin, Keith Mitchell, Bradley, Bridgman, Koiven, Poston, Spieth, Cole, Michael Thorbjornsen, Fowler, Cootie, Tom Kim, Doug Kim, Michael Brennan, Sung J.M., Matt Wallace, Denny McCarthy, Hisatsune, Thompson, Grazerman, Yeller Miraju, Mac Meisner, Bezadenhout, Michael Kim, Taylor Pendrith. I have no idea who Chad is either. AJ, you've been on this channel for a very long time. It's hard to believe you've never heard of Chad Eckert. Joanne says not sure. So just throwing this out there, the purpose is just to put a name. You know, you don't even have to tell me like an actual name, like your actual winner. Just put down a name. That is it. This is just to get you guys to type something into the chat. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. Joanne wins. Okay. I'll take that as an acceptable answer. What's going on, Eric Bruce? See, I got Nathan, AJ, Logan, Joanne, Eric, Jim. I don't lie. I tell you who I feel will win. It's okay. Christian Brown, I haven't seen you in a long time. What's going on, man? I've been here since the dinosaurs. Yeah, well, if that's true, then you should know who Chad Eckert is. I mean, I think I co-streamed one time with him. I'm not sure. Anywho's, we're going to move on and get to the bucket system for this week's John Deere Classic. Here we go. All right, so you guys can actually follow along with me. I forgot to mention this in the beginning. If you go to SweetSpotDFS.com, under the cheat sheet, so go to Fantasy Tools cheat sheet, scroll down on the page, get down to here, get to this cheat sheet, and then click here. This opens up a Google Sheet. Ryan Henson, you messaged me on X. I'm sure I'll just write back to you. I said I'm gonna discontinue doing these spreadsheets after the Open Championship. And he goes, how are we supposed to find the Marquee Tee Times? How are we supposed to find I think that was it, or something to that effect. that's all going to be added to the website. Like, it's going to be a new tool on the website. I just haven't, I need to create a model that works, and I have to create all the formulas behind it, which I should be able to do here soon. I've already started. Haven't completed it, but there will be a tab under the drop down that will say Marquee Tee Times. And you'll get to review all of the Marquee Tee Times and how successful they've ever been. There'll be even a summary that shows you how successful, you know, if there's at least a GPP winner or a sweet spot optimal or an optimal lineup, you know, or enough golfers, it'll show you the success rates of all of those. So that's going to be a tool. So that will be added. But for the time being, you guys can follow along with me on this cheat sheet. It does have a bucket system that goes over the minimum and maximum projections under column H and column G. So go check that out if you want to follow along with me. I'm going to go ahead and close that down. I'm going to go to my cheat sheet. And normally I don't really go bucket by bucket because Scotty Scheffler's in the field and we kind of just already know Scotty Scheffler, whatever buckets he's in, he's going to add 1 to the projection. So we always like minimize or reduce the projection numbers because Scotty Scheffler is just going to be one of those guys. We always know he's going to be one of those guys. But this week, I think we could probably go bucket by bucket and take a look at each of the golfers. So with that being said, there are filters that you can apply on that cheat sheet. I would rather do this. Let's clear everything out and go basically bucket by bucket. And I'm actually going to use both tools that I have. I'm going to use the website. I'm going to use the Google Sheets. So I'm going to look at the last year buckets. There are 6 of them. There are 6 stats, 6 buckets each, 36 total buckets. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this page. This is free, so you guys could also do this under Fantasy Tools cheat sheet. Because when you drill down on this little bucket icon, there are all these little buttons that you can filter by. So we can go ahead and just go last year 1 bucket. Here are all our last year 1 golfers. They're 18 total. 34 strength of field points goes towards them. And if we go into the John Deere Classic, we can see under the bucket totals, there are 18 golfers. So it matches up perfectly. The projection's 1 to 3, but I believe on my optimizer, again, you can just request this optimizer and you don't even have to worry about what the bucket, the bucket projections are because it's already built into the optimizer. I have it as 0 to 3. The reason I have it as 0 to 3, because if you look at this number, 1.12 to 2.24, the rule is we always round down with the minimum. So 1.12 becomes 1. 2.24 becomes 3. So it would be a 1 to 3 projection. If we scroll all the way over to the right, I also use this projection. You guys can see this on your side. 2.24 is still good. It's still strong enough to make this a 1 to 3 projection, but I'm going to keep it 0 to 3 unless I see enough golfers that I'm like, oh, wait a minute. No, we need to make this a 1 to 3. So here we go. This is what we're going to do. We're going to double check all of these projections and see if it works out. So 1 to 3 is the actual projection, but I change it to 0 to 3. Let's look. Basically, we want to, in order for it to be a 1 to 3, we got to kind of guess our ownership that we are comfortable playing. If we built 100 lineups, what would our exposures be for each golfer? Jacob Bridgman, I wouldn't want to really play more than 12%. Jackson Koivin, he's going to be very popular. So if you're playing the game theory angle, you probably just avoid him. I'm not going to avoid him. I imagine his ownership is going to be like north of 20%. So I'm probably, I got no issue playing him at 20%. So I'm going to go from 12 to 20. Ricky Fowler, I really don't care, but I think he's poised to play well here. Let's just put him at 10%. Denny McCarthy, I'll put at 12. Davis Thompson, I'll put at 12. Hoey, I'll put at 10. Homa, I'll put at like 14. Grillo, I'll put at 12. Bo Hauser will get like 4. Carson Young will get 4. Matt Kuchar will get 4. Eckroat will get like 10. Fishburne will get like 6, maybe 5. Kevin Roy will get 6 or 5. Glover will get like 3 or 4. Lipsky will get 3 or 4. Brian Campbell will get 3 or 4. Nick Dunlap will get like 1. I already know that equals over 100%. I'd have to really do my math to figure out if that's enough over 100, and I'd want it to be 150% or more in order for this to be a 1 to. Well, how many golfers would I really want to play? I don't really care for Bridgman, but it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I really, well, 4. Eckroat. I do like Eckroat. It's like only 4 golfers that I really care to play, and I don't want to own any of them over 25%. So I'm keeping this a 0 to 3 bucket. Did you say ownership? Only for me, bud. Only for me. I only say it for you guys because I know a lot of you guys play the game theory aspects of it. I don't. I just use like ownership for me. You know, like what is my ownership of these players? So I'm going to keep that a 0 to 3 bucket. I think that's a perfect projection. Could we play up to 3 of these guys? Sure, but I don't really. I mean, I could see a lineup where I put Koivin, Homa, and Eckroat in a lineup. Like those 3, and maybe I'll interchange some of these guys, but not many. Like I'm pretty comfortable just keeping this a 0 to 3. It could almost be a 0 to 2 bucket, but yeah, we'll keep it 0 to 3. I'm gonna move that over there. Okay. The next bucket is a 0 to 2 bucket. Let's take a look. Drill into the buckets. We go from last year 1 to last year 2. There are 14 total golfers. It starts out with Chris Gotterup, then Michael Thorbjornsen, Doug Gim, Taylor Moore, Kevin Yu, Higo, Hodges, Blair, Hubbard, Ventura, Whaley, Villegas, Jeremy Paul, and Cam Champ, which I don't have a salary next to. I can't remember. What is he? 6,800, 6,600. He's something like that. I'll have to make that update when I get there, or after the stream. So, do I want to play more than 2 of these guys in a lineup? The answer is no. I don't. I don't want to play more than 2 of these golfers in a lineup. I really like Doug Gim this week. I mean, Byron and I went over this Sunday night. I really like Doug Gim. Other notable mentions were like Kevin Yu, kind of like Kevin Yu. Zach Blair. Outside of that, don't really care. Honestly. I'm not trying to force any of these guys, so 2 is fine. 0 to 2 is fine. Next bucket projection for last year 3 is 0 to 2. So again, drill into the bucket icon, deselect 2, select 3. Do we want to play more than 2 golfers here? Mitchell, Cole, Hisatsune, Coles, Power, ZJ, Springer, Svensson, Damon, Wu, Lauer, Pat Kazire. I want Ben Coles in a lineup. That's for sure. And I could see Here's the thing. This is why I love the bucket system. So that projection is 0 to 2, and it's not even close. Like it's not even close to being over 2. We've never seen more than 1 guy in the optimal lineup from this bucket. Not more than 1 guy in the top 5. We do have 12 golfers this year where we normally see around 10. So it's like, you know, there are more golfers, so maybe we see more. I mean, the most we've ever seen is 3. Here's a plug for the website. Under fantasy tools, if you go to the bucket system, what I like to do is just, first of all, find the bucket that we're talking about. So this is last year 3. So we'll take a look at the last year 3 bucket. We scroll all the way down until we get to the bucket totals per year. And what I like about this page is if we deselect top 10 counts and we look at the totals, again, you know, on average, we see about 10. Well, if we drill down into the top 10 counts, we had 0 last year. I want to know the year where there was 3 or 2 or 3 or more. Well, there's only one year where there was 3. That was 2019. If we deselect top 10, I want to see how many total golfers were in that bucket that year. It's only 10. Only 10. So we can scroll up here because we already have that bucket selected right here under last year 3. We can use this page right here and select 2019 and take a look at all the golfers that were in that bucket. And then you get some stat categories over here. If you want to look at strokes gain stats, you can certainly look at strokes gain stats. You just got to drill down on the strokes gain button over here. Sorry, the bar was in the way. You can see strokes gain button. So if you drill into that, again, we already selected the year. So you can see how well these golfers were doing leading into the event. Andrew Landry finished 3rd. Positive ball striking, negative off the green, negative putting, negative stroke gain total. Nick Watney finished 6th. Almost everything was positive, but very minimally. Sam Saunders finished 10th place. And again, everything, well, right here, almost everything was negative. We had 4 missed cuts. A guy named Tom Lovelady finishing 56th. I forgot about that guy. He was a person I used to play in DFS. I remember that. I think he's a Texas boy, if I recall. Anyways, so here are the golfers. They don't look like really anybody's, you know? 92, 85, 71, 65. Well, shoot. We take a look at this week. We got a good golfer at 10K, a good golfer at 9,100, a good golfer at 8,100, and a golfer that I want to play at 73. So we can literally follow that exact same thing. And I also like Adam Svensson, 68. So here's what I'm going to do. For those that are requesting the optimizer, this won't be changed on your side. So you need to change it. This last year 3 bucket, I'm changing to 0 to 3. The reason being, I mean, I don't really want to abuse this that much, but I do want lineups that has Ben Cole with a mixture of Keith Mitchell and Eric Cole in it, or even Ryo Hisatsune. Now, the thing I've learned throughout the years is this projection's pretty damn good. We don't want to abuse that. The 0 to 2 limits us from making bad plays. It limits us from making bad plays. And currently, I don't know what the bucket projection would have been, you know, back then. It's something that I'm probably going to create at some point in time that we can take snapshots of what the bucket projections were for 2019. But currently, I don't have that ability to do that right now. So I don't know what that bucket was. Like the last year 3 bucket, it could have been a 1 to 3 bucket. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was always a 0 to 2 bucket. Maybe. So anyways, yeah, we'll keep that 0 to 3 just because I like the top golfers and I don't mind sprinkling in some of these other golfers. I mean, I don't want to sprinkle in Dylan Wu, Justin Lauer, Pat Kazire, or even Joel Damon, but I do like Svensson. I also don't mind Hayden Springer, who shot a 59 here, I think last year or the year before. Zach Johnson, he's going to be an okay old person to play. You know, this course he's played well at before. And then Seamus Power is but I do like these golfers here quite a bit, and I don't mind putting them in a lineup together. All right, moving on. Last year, 4. There's only 1 golfer in it, and that's what your projection is, 0 to 1. Easy peasy. Last year 3 and last year 5 and last year 6. 1 to 4, 1 to 4. On the optimizer, I have them also at 1 to 4. Let's determine if we really want to play at least one of these golfers in our lineup. There are 44 total golfers in the last year 5 bucket and 54 total golfers in the last year 6 bucket. So let's take a look. If I've been saying last week, I apologize. It's last year. I don't know if that's what I've been doing, but it sounds like I might have been. All right, so last year 5. Ben Griffin is in this bucket, and by golly, that is a good reason for me to play him. JT Poston had a miserable Travelers Championship because of 1 hole that he got a 12 on. He was dead last in that field. Pretty much dead last. Pearson Coody, yeah. I talked about him in the podcast with Byron. I don't mind playing him. So here's I'm just gonna let you in on some of the golfers we talked about. So on the previous one, we talked about Ben Coles. Here we talked about Ben Griffin. Well, that was one guy. We did talk about Pearson Coody. That was two guys. Tom Kim, I like quite a bit. So does a lot of other people. Mac Meisner was the lock. He's one of my locks to play. But then you have Bezadenhout. That's really good as well. Jackson Suber, which is Logan's guy in the chat. We talked about Max McGreevy. He also has really good stats as well. Andrew Putnam, another good player. So I'm not going to go over every golfer that's here, but the ones that I just mentioned were highlighted in our stream as golfers you want to play. So this 1 to 3 bucket, or this 1 to 3 projection, is absolutely spot on, dead on. I'm just going to keep it. I don't need to look any further than that. Same thing goes here, 1 to 4. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a 1 to 4 bucket, not a 1 to 3 bucket, which is even lovelier because I like a lot of these golfers. So last year's 6 bucket, this is interesting because some of these names I'm already looking at, like I didn't really think about playing them or really care to play them, but we have Keegan Bradley, Jordan Spieth, Michael Brennan, Matt Wallace, Grazerman, Yeller Miraju, Pendrith, Blades Brown, Danny Berger, Tony Finau, Novak, Kiefer, Boshu, and then the rest of these guys. We talked a little bit about Keegan. I talked a little bit about Yeller Miraju. I did talk quite a bit about Blades Brown. Really like Blades Brown. And I mean, we talked about Johnny Kiefer, Boshu. That was it, though. We really didn't talk about anybody else. Maybe Marty Doe. But we kind of skipped over everybody else because they didn't fit the stat profiles that we were looking for. So this bucket being a 1 to 4 bucket is very interesting because everybody lives in the 7K range. And you know what? I think just the fact that there are that many 7K golfers, here's an easy way to do this. So there's 51 total golfers in this bucket. If you drill into here, we can filter by more buckets than just one. The salary 4 bucket is the 7K range. There are 17 total golfers. So if you had any of these golfers that were like 6% or less or 7% or less, if they were all there, you could play one of these guys in each of your lineups. And to be honest with you, I mean, maybe Matthew Pavon, I'd probably play at 4%. Kita Nakajima, I'd probably play at 4%. But everybody else, I think I'd probably play at 6 or 8% or higher. So yeah, I can see this being a 1 to 4 bucket. Like a projection of 1 to 4. So yeah, I got no issues with that. Let's move on to the last week buckets. By the way, see you later, Jim. I don't know if you've already left, but see you later. Oh yeah, same with Joanne. Going to watch the rest of the morning. Okay. All right. So last week 1, 0 to 2. Let's take a look at that. These are golfers who played last week at the Travelers Championship. Ben Griffin, Keegan Bradley, Denny McCarthy. They're all golfers I would like to play. The fact that you can't play all 3 of them in a lineup is interesting. I think that's probably the smart thing to do, is not to put them all 3 into a lineup together. Putting 2 of them I think is fine. They all have slightly different bucket combinations. So yeah, that's good. All right, let's move on to last week 2, which our projection is 1 to 3. Only 11 golfers in it. We normally see about 15. I think in the optimizer I have this as 0 to 3. Oh no, I have it at 1 to 3. Okay, let's double check. Is this actually a 1 to 3 bucket? We have Goddard, Mitchell, Cole, Fowler, Hisatsune, Michael Kim, Berger, Suber, Novak, and Tom Hoagie. 11 total golfers that have to be 10% or higher. I don't think this is a 1 to 3 bucket. I think this bucket actually has a high chance to fail. Those 8K golfers and above, I don't have a lot of faith that they can produce a top 10. I mean, I have faith they can, but faith in order to make this a 1 to 3 bucket, I don't think so. So I will be changing this to 0 to 3. But the bucket system says 1 to 3 based off of past successes, the strength of field points that go into this bucket based off of the whole field. So yeah, the bucket system still likes this to produce at least one top 10. I just don't know who it is. I don't think I really want to force a lot of golfers from this bucket into my lineups. I'm kind of out on Goddard. Like I'm not going to own him that much. I only might put him in like 12% of my lineups. Mitchell probably will be up there, 16 to 20%. Cole will be somewhere between 14 to 18% or something like that. The rest of these guys, I think it's like 14 or less, or at least Fowler and Im. Yeah, and Hitsatsune. The rest of these guys, 12% or less. So I suppose there's enough ownership to have at least one of these golfers in a lineup, but I'm not really going to try to force it, honestly. I do not feel comfortable rostering all of them, or not even all of them, but at least one in every single lineup. Maybe they will. Maybe they will be picked. Maybe they won't. That's fine. Okay. The next bucket's a 0 to 2. That's because there's only 4 golfers in it. And then last week 4, there are only 5 golfers in it. So they're both 0 to 2s. Let's take a look. This one will probably be fast. Bridgman, Meisner, Finau, Vegas, Campbell. Do I want to play more than 2 of these guys in a lineup? And the answer is no. I do like Mac Meisner. He's kind of my lock. The rest of the guys, I don't really care. Last week, bucket 4, we get Poston and Spieth in the 9K range, Taylor Pendleton 7K, then Glover and Hubbard. Do I want to play more than 2 of these guys? The answer is no. So that one's easy. Last week 6, golfers who did not play. I think this is we just skipped this one. It's a 3 to 6 projection. 3 to 6. And the fact that I let go of one of these guys, or the projection is now 0 to 3, I think I have this as a 2 to 6 bucket. I think I'm going to make it a 3 to 6. But let's actually take a look. Hold on. I'm not going to be afraid to play Jackson Koivin. I'll play some Thorbjornsen, but I'm not really trying to push to play Thorbjornsen. I do like Cootie. I love Tom Kim. I love Doug Kim. Don't care much for Brennan. I'm lukewarm on Wallace, lukewarm on Thompson, lukewarm on Grazerman, although I think this is a good golf course for Max Grazerman. Yeah, I see a bunch of names. Homa, Blades Brown, Bezayenhout, Grillo, although I didn't say his name before, but yeah, Grillo, McGreevy, Ben Coles, Bowshoot. Yeah, this is a 3 to 6 bucket, guys. This is a 3 to 6 bucket. What that change? LW2, I think. I don't know what you mean. Don't know what you mean. All right, so that covers the last week buckets. Going into course history. 0 to 2, 0 to 2. Course history 1, course history 2. We get Koivin, Spieth, Thorbjornsen, Fowler, Thompson, Hoey, Yu, Eckroat, and Roy. Do I really want to play more than 2 of these guys in a lineup? The answer is no. So I'll keep that a 0 to 2 bucket. Go to course history 2. 18 total golfers here. Goddard, Mitchell, Gim, McCarthy, Grazerman. Last week 2, what you changed? What are you talking about, man? Can you give me more specifics? And why are we using caps, all caps? I don't know what. Oh, what did I change with last week 2? I switched it from a 1 to 3 to a 0 to 3. That's what I did. All right, course history 2. This is a 0 to 2 bucket. Do I want to play more than 2 golfers from this bucket in one lineup? Goddard, Mitchell, Gim, McCarthy, Grazerman, Berger, Novak, Grillo, Power, Carson Young, Glover. Ooh, it's a close one. Like, I could see a lineup where I have Keith Mitchell and Doug Gim in a lineup. And I wouldn't mind Grazerman, Novak, or Grillo to kind of be the third golfer in those lineups. Or I could even go Mitchell, Gim, McCarthy. Oh boy. What is the likelihood of 3? 18 total golfers. Wait, did two of these guys withdraw? I know there's been some withdrawals. Who withdrew again? Echeverry is not in here. Vegas. Oh, Johnny Vegas. So Johnny Vegas withdrew. And then so did Taylor Montgomery, but I don't think he's in here either. Oh, yeah, okay. So here's the other thing too. Who is not? If there's a withdraw on my side of things, like on the spreadsheet version, this is also why I don't like the spreadsheets that I have, because it is difficult. I record withdraws much like missed cuts. So let me take a look to see what golfers are not in this bucket. It's the $9,100 golfer. Who is that? Or it's Doug Gim. Why is Doug Gim, or what bucket is Doug Gim technically in? 86. Course history 3. Is that because you have a withdraw, sir? Yeah, it's because he has a withdraw. 2018, he withdrew. So if you take that out, he's in this bucket. And he's got an 18th, a miscut, 26th, 34th, 31st. Okay. Yep. That makes sense. So this is a 0 to 3 bucket. Or it's close to a 1 to 3, but we're going to make this a 0 to 3 bucket. So, yep. Right here. Yeah, I do have it as 0 to 3. Perfect. Now, course history 3 bucket says 2 to 5. Take a look there. 42 total golfers. 2 to 5. Do we want to play at least 2 of these guys? And I know I want to play Mac Meisner. I mean, I'm not going to have him in 100% of my lineups, but he's a guy that I'm very confident that because of the stat trends, he's the guy that I want in my lineups. I think it's either him or Doug Gim, if I remember correctly. So maybe I need to... Yeah, Meisner's going to be in a lot of my lineups. So anyways, there's one guy I want for sure is in Meisner. I don't mind starting my lineups with Ben Griffin. King Bradley, it's like, Bridgman is Poston's Cole is a golfer I don't mind playing. Cootie also. Sung Jae, sure. I don't mind getting there with Sung Jae. Homa's seems like a good play at 7,400. 2 to 5. That's difficult because I think I have to accept 2 to 5. I don't like a lot of these golfers, to be quite honest with you. I don't want to anchor around at least 2 of these guys because I can't find 2 that I absolutely want to. I should say this. I can't find enough combos or enough twosomes that I want to pair up together. Like Homa and Meisner, yes. Bazainhout and Meisner, yes. Cootie and Meisner, yes. Sung Jae and Meisner, yes. Cole and Meisner, yes. Poston and Meisner, sure. Bridgman and Meisner, sure. Bradley and Meisner, sure. Ben Griffin and Meisner, yes. Like, that's easy. So I've got a bunch of combos that go with Meisner, but I don't want to put a ton of... I don't want to own too much Meisner in my lineups. Homa Bazainhout, that's fine. Homa Im's fine. Homa Cootie's fine. So I guess there's some... Are there at least 10 combos of twosomes that I'd like to play? I think so. I think the question's yes. It's each one of those that I like. I don't mind interchanging. So how many do I have? I've got 1, 2. I'm not going to count Bridgman. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I do have 10. So that is 100% of those twosomes. But I don't mind them being paired with other golfers down here. Okay, sure. I'll keep it at a 2 to 5. That I'll keep. The next 3 buckets are 0 to 2s. They almost match, except for that last course history 6 bucket, the amount of golfers you see on average every single year. So, with that being said, this will be fast. Course history 4, 0 to 2. Do we want to play more than 2 of these guys? I do like Ben Coles. I like Putnam. I like Smotherman. But I don't need to pair any of those guys up together. So the answer is no. Course history 5. Tom Kim, I like, yes. Wallace, Finau, Suber, Max McGreevy, sure. Fisk, Marty Doe, sure. So no. The answer is no. Okay. And then course history 6, golfers who have never played this course before. We get enough good golfers. You have Brennan, Yellow Mirage, Pendrith, Blades Brown, Potgieter did play it, and he played it well, but he withdrew. So sure, Potgieter, that works for me. Kiefer, Boshu. I don't think I want to play more than 3 of these guys, but it's pretty close. Projection 0 to 2. If we go to this bucket system, let's remove 2019 from that and go from last year down to course history 6. Let's take a look at how many times 10 or 2 golfers have been inside the top 10. Oh my God, we have 5 in 2022, 4 in 2024, 3 in 2018, 3 in 2016, 4 in 2014, 4 in 2024. Let's start there. 2024, then we get into 2022. I want to see who the golfers were. And let's just do top 20s. So we had Clanton at 86, newbie, young guy. Ben Griffin, 79, not so young. Hayden Springer, I think he was a rookie technically last year. Aaron Rye, 10K golfer. Okay. 2022, what does that look like? Bezzy, Grillo, Goddard, young guy, by the way. Tarin, and Patrick Flavin. Interesting. 2014. We can take I don't really care about 2014. 2019? No, we only had 2. Fratelli and Colin Morikawa. What was a year that we had 3? 2023 and 2018. Okay. 2023. Oberg, Cam Young. So I'm seeing a lot of power guys from this bucket doing well. 2018, but not here, except for Keith Mitchell. Ooh, 7K range, Bombers. Potgieter. Well, here, we can go strokes gain stats. Who's our big Michael Brennan? Is that Michael Brennan golf course? Nice to see Christian Brown. I don't know if you're going to see me say this or hear me say this, but good to have you in the chat for a little while. I'm going to just sort by strokes gain off the tee. Brennan, Kiefer, Stanger. Well, he's not. I want 7K golfers also. So actually, we can do that this way. Salary range 7,000 and above. So Brennan, Kiefer, Yellow Mirage, Potgieter, Pendrith, Hautong. Really the only guys that bomb the ball. Blades Brown, very good when it comes to actually shoot. How about this? Let's go back to the bucket system. Again, wonderful tool. You can only get this. We can look at their strokes gained stats. So 2024, we had a lot of golfers here inside the top 10. Clanton was crushing it off the tee, but that's like one event of sample size. Griffin, not a bomber. Springer, 2.68. We know he hits the ball far. Rye, 3.97. Just a great ball striker. Okay. 2023, we had 3. Bomb. Look at these off the tee stats. 0.8, 0.8, 0.7. 2022, 0.4 is the only good one. But there were no bombers in this bucket. Look at this. 0, 0.4. I mean, Goddard is a bomber of the golf ball. This just means he was inaccurate. And then Taran was just, eh. But one guy that's at 0.4 or greater. Let's put it that way. One guy at 0.4 or greater. 2019. Jeez. 1 stroke for Colin Morikawa. He's not a bomber, but obviously really at, oh, I'm sorry, 0.3. That's still good. And 0.29. Still good. 2018 is the last one I'm going to look at. Frankie, 0.7. Then it was 0.1, 0.7 again, 0.3. So, yeah, I'd say bombers like 0.4 or greater. And we use pot geeter on up. At the same time, we don't have to be afraid to use guys in the negatives because we saw that a couple times too. But that just makes me like Boshu more. It makes me like Blades Brown more. And AJ Ewert has been a golfer that a lot of people have been talking about, like Byron. I don't mind Ewert being on a lineup either. So, with that being said, we were talking about Course History 6 bucket. Could we play more than 3? Not more than 3, more than 2. I think the answer is yes. Let me go back into this. What does it say? 0 to 2. We do have less golfers than usual, but we just went over a few golfers that I liked. Do we keep it 0 to 2 or do we make it 0 to 3? Let's count the ones that actually have more than 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I keep track of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 years. So more than 50% of the time, there's 3 or more. Of course, that means that, there's more golfers in each of these buckets. 44, 40, 41, 33, 35, 41, 37. So the buckets that have 3 or more have around 40. And this week we have 24. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough. Boy, oh boy, guys, I don't know. If you guys want to change that to a 0 to 3, you most certainly can. Again, this is Course History 6. You can change that to a 0 to 3 if you'd like. I'm going to keep it 0 to 2. It's tough. I can't. There's not enough strength inside, or there's not enough want to make that update. So we'll leave that alone. All right, recent form 1 bucket. I think this is just a 0 to 2, right? Let me change it here. Yeah, 0 to 1. I don't really have to look at it, honestly. It's Blades Brown and Sung, you'll know. Sure. They're good golfers. I'm just not going to pair them up together. Just one, and I'm not going to even force them in. This recent form 2 bucket, the projection is 2 to 5. We got to come up with a reason to play at least 2 of them all the time. And I think we can make the discussion if we want 5 to be the maximum or 4. But when we look at this, I've already got Gim here. I've got Tom Kim. I got Tom Kim, Doug Gim, McCarthy. We just talked about Pot Geeter in the Course History 6 bucket. We have Suber, Boshu, AJ Ewert down here, just the cheap guys. But then we come up here, you got Cole, Poston, Koiven. Don't really care that much about Bradley, but then you get all the 10K golfers. So at least 2 of these guys, yeah. This one's a little easy one to do. Recent form 3, 2 to 5 is the projection for this one. We had a bunch of 9 and 8K golfers. Who do I like here? Anybody? Well, there's Mac Meisner. Again, almost a lock for me. Johnny Kiefer's down here. Homa's here as well. Max McGreevy, Ben Coles. This is another lock of basically 2. So yeah, that one's fine. Recent form 4 is a 1 to 3 bucket. Do I have that as a 1 to 3 here? No, I have it as 0 to 3 because of how strict these buckets are. I'm actually gonna keep that 2 to 5. Okay. Recent form 4. Yeah, 4. 1 to 3. 38 total golfers. On average, we see 50. Holy moly. Okay, 50. 1 to 3. Do I want to play at least one of these guys? I do like Yellow Mirage. I don't mind Davis Thompson. I don't mind Fowler. There's no one else that I absolutely need to play. There's Svensson down there. Svensson's fine. Guys, this is going to be a 0 to 3 bucket for me. There's not enough firepower for me to be like, ooh, I really want to play these guys. So yeah, we'll keep it 0 to 3. Recent form 5 and 6, we have as 0 to 2. So let's just take a look at each of those. Marty Doe, sure. So here's a good lesson with the bucket system. We don't play more than 2 of these guys in a lineup together. So if you like a few of these guys, pump the brakes. Don't play more than 2 together. But at the same time, maybe just only select 1. And the last one to look at, recent form 6. These are golfers with no recent form, including Cameron Champ. He has a withdraw. That doesn't count. There's nobody here that we want. We don't want to play more than 2 golfers from this bucket. So there you go. Okay. Let's get into the strokes gain buckets. And then we'll tap into the salaries. So strokes gain. 0 to 2 for strokes gain 1. There are 6 total golfers in that bucket. So we come down here, strokes gain 1. You want to know what strokes gain stats are? This is the easiest way to do it, or what these buckets are. Select the strokes gain last year button after you put in the filters. So I have strokes gain 1 in here, and you're going to see all the stats are positive, even if it's close to 0. 0.013. Ricky Fowler is still a strokes gain 1 golfer. Jordo, 0.69, 0.034. Still a strokes gain 1 golfer. And Jackson Koiven, 0.041 for around the green. Still strokes gain 1 golfer. Now, the question really is, do we want to play more than 1 of these or more than 2 of these guys in a lineup? And the answer is no. At most, I could see myself putting Koiven and Meisner in a lineup together. I could actually Meisner with any of these guys. That's fine. We're going to keep it at 2. 2 is perfect. This one, strokes gain 2, is so close to being 0 to 3. It is very close. Let's take a look at the golfers that are in that bucket. Strokes gain 2. I was going to say recent form 3, but we're not even there. Can we play more than 2 of these guys in a lineup together? Well, names that I've already talked about that I like: Blades Brown, Max Homa. I don't mind Sung Jae. I don't mind Yellow Miraju, Poston, Cootie. Like I said, I don't really care to play Goddard up this week. Could I play more than 2? I don't think I want to. I like Eckroat. You know what? I like Brown, I like Homa, and I like Eckroat. I could put those 3 guys together. Or Brown, Homa, Yellow Miraju, or Brown, Homa, Sung Jae, Brown, Homa, Cootie, Brown, Homa, Poston. I guess I could. Boy, oh boy, but it's not going to be a lot. Here's what I'm going to do. On the optimizer on mine, what I am going to put next to the strokes gain 2 bucket. Oh, it's a 0 to 3 bucket. Oh, we want to see if it's going to be a 1. Do we want it to be a 1? I don't think so. No, There's not enough golfers in this bucket that make me want to have the optimizer pick at least one of these. So it's going to stay as 0 to 3 bucket. That's absolutely fine by me. Okay, cool. The next bucket is a 1 to 4, and so too is strokes gained 4, but that could be a 1 to 3. We'll take a look at that after this one. Strokes gained 3. 1 to 4. First question is, can we play at least one of these guys? Well, I got Doug Gim here. Yes, that's for sure. Keith Mitchell, yes. Thorbjornsen, sure. Brennan, sure. Satsune, sure. Thompson, yeah. Yeah, there's enough pieces down here. Ben Coles is down here. It drops off pretty fast, but this is a good bucket. We have a 0 to 2. Is that? Oh no, 1 to what was it? 1 to 4? Yeah, that's fine. 1 to 4 is fine for this bucket. All right, the next one is the questionable one. Or was that 2? I'm sorry. No, it is 1 to 4. This one says 1 to 4. It's probably going to stay as a 1 unless I can't find any good golfers to play. But I already see some. Griffin, Cole, McCarthy, Boshu, Putnam, Ewert. Yeah, there's enough golfers. Well, play at least one. Griffin, sure. Here's the thing. Okay. Guys, you could get really narrow if you want to. You could get really narrow. We've seen Ben Griffin, a bunch of these buckets that have at least one. If you want to anchor around Ben Griffin, go for it. Same goes with Zach Boshu. He's been in a lot of these buckets that you've wanted at least one golfer of. You could anchor around Griffin and Boshu just from this bucket. Let the optimizer figure out the rest. You could do that and put Ben Griffin in 100% of your lineups. I'm really liking Ben Griffin. I might put him up to like 41%. Which seems like it's going to be a bad omen, but I feel pretty good about that. The other two buckets, 0 to 2, 0 to 2. Strokes gained 5. This is negative off the tee and negative putting. You got Tom Kim. Kim Grazerman. Finau, Novak, Carson Young, Marty Doe. So the question really is, do we want to play more than 2 of these guys? I could almost make the argument of saying yes, but I think I'm going to leave it as is. Because this just makes me like there's not going to be anyone more upset if I go all in on Tom Kim and he misses the cut. You know how frustrating that would be for me. So I'm going to say no. I don't want to have more than 2 of these guys. I also don't want to anchor around one of these guys. But I do like Tom Kim quite a bit. And he's right by Doug Gim, which now it just makes me like Doug Gim even more. I might put Doug Gim at 40% ownership. Okay. So those are your strokes gain buckets, and the last buckets to cover are the salary buckets. We're not going to talk, I'm not going to go into each of these buckets and say, oh, you really want one guy from there. But actually, the 9K bucket is probably the only one to really talk about. 0 to 2 10Ks. There are only 3 of them. I'm not, you can't put 3 10K golfers in a lineup and make it work, so there's no point in talking about it. I mean, you could, but it'd be really bad. Strokes or salary or the 9K range, salary bucket 2, 9K range. Technically, it says 1 to 3. I have it on the optimizer as 0 to 3. I don't like anchoring around a 9K golfer, but let's take a look. Let's take a look. So we're looking at salary 2, the salary 2 bucket. And there are 7 total golfers in it. Bradley, Bridgman, Koiven, Poston, Spieth, Cole, Thorbjornsen. Could I see 3 of these guys finishing inside the top 10? I don't think so. That means I don't want to anchor around one. If I can't find at least 3, then that means the automatic projection 0 to 2. But I'll keep it 0 to 3 because there is a chance that could happen. 7 golfers. In order for them to be paired up and also have more than 3 in a couple lineups, the exposures for these golfers would have to be over 20%, and I do not care to do it over 20%. So yeah, no, this one I'm going to keep it 0 to 3. The next bucket was also close to being 0 to 3, so let's see if we can make an argument for that. Tom Kim I like, Doug Gim I like. I've warmed up on Brendan now. I like Cootie. This is a 0 to 3 bucket, guys. McCarthy, yeah, this actually, I would almost make the argument that this group of golfers are better than the 9K golfers. So, oh, I do have it at 0 to 3. Perfect. 0 to 3. The next bucket is 2 to 5. I just saw it from the optimizer, but just to show you guys what that looks like. So we're on salary bucket 4. That's a 7K range. 2 to 5. 2 to 5. Okay. Do we want at least 2 of these guys? Well, Grazerman's great. Yellow Mirage is good. I'm probably locking in Meisner for a large chunk of my lineups, like 50%. Bezzy, sure. Don't really care about Kim. Don't really care about Pendrith. I'm okay with Hoey. I do like Blades Brown. I do like Aldrich Potgieter. Don't mind Berger. Don't mind Finau. I like Homa. I like Suber. I don't mind Novak. I don't mind Kiefer. Lukewarm on Taylor Moore. I like Grillo. I like Kevin Yu. I like Max McGreevy. I like Ben Coles. Yeah. So this projection is a 2 to 5. I could see, oh my God, dude. There's so many good golfers. Like, I could see at least 3 being in a lineup that's successful. I could also see an optimal lineup leaving $10,000 on the table and it just be 6, 7K golfers. So I think the 7K range is juicy. You're going to have to really get it correct in the 9 and the 8K range in order to be successful this week. The other buckets, by the way, for the strokes gain or for the salary buckets, 0 to 2 and 0 to 2. That's fine. I'm not going to worry that much about either of those buckets. We're going to keep that as is. And that, ladies and gentlemen, covers all of the buckets from the bucket system. So yeah, if you are requesting the optimizer, here are the bucket combinations that are not bucket combinations, the projections that I have made in my conditionals. Pause the video, screenshot this, and then you have it for yourself. So when I send it to you, you'll be able to update it. Here you go. I scrolled down, so screenshot this as well. Okay. Okie doke. We're going to move on to the Marquee Tee Times and we're getting into building lineups. But first, actually, hold on. Let me check the chat. Can you show a list of golfers that you and Byron liked? I will go over it. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly who it was. You have to go watch the video, which you should just do anyways. Go watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it almost all day tomorrow. Like any of the like little, and by the way, AJ, I'm most likely just going to show it in the members only video. Here's a perfect reason to show, to spend $4.99 a month on this YouTube channel. Become a white tier member. I'll talk about the nitty gritty things that I've learned throughout the week. The very detailed things that I want to put into my lineups. Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for members only. I will go over that list there. I don't think I'm going to spend, you know, the 30-40 minutes that's going to require to remember all the things that we did. Nah, we'll just keep it as is. We're going to get to the Marquee Tee Times. We're going to do that right now. If you want to follow along with me, you can absolutely do that by going to the cheat sheet at fantasy, or jeez, I was going to say under the fantasy tools at SweetSpotDFS.com. Go to the cheat sheet, scroll down on the page until you reach this cheat sheet, click here. This will open up a Google sheet, And under column O, so if you apply a filter, there is a saved filter in here. Under column O is the group rank. You want to sort A to Z on that. And that is how you get the 9 tee times, the 9 threesomes, the 9 pairings that are a part of the Marquee Tee Times. These are the best 9 groups in the field that are playing together Thursday, Friday. Group 1, Ben Griffin, Jackson Koivin, Jordan Spieth. Guess what? For those that are new to the channel, the rules are of the Marquee Tee Times. We want to select 2 to 4 groups, 2 to 4 from the Marquee Tee Times, and only select 1 golfer from those groups. So here's group 1. Ben Griffin, Jackson Koivin, Jordan Spieth. If you're building Ben Griffin lineups, they are going to be Sands, Jackson Koivin, and Jordan Spieth, which I think is wonderful because there's going to be so much ownership on Jackson Koivin that this is a perfect reason why you should fade him. Is if you really like Ben Griffin, now you can't play Jackson Koivin. And for those that are wondering, well, wait, why can't I play golfers from the same group? Well, 90% of the time, we find 2 to 4 golfers from the Marquee Tee Times in the optimal lineup or the GPP winning lineup. I should say it's or the GPP winning lineup and or the SweetSpot optimal. So the 3 lineups that I keep track of, you're going to find 2 to 4 of them from the Marquee Tee Times of every event that I cover. 90% of the time, there'll be 2 to 4. Furthermore, 90% of those 2 to 4 won't have golfers from the same group a part of their lineups. So take that into account. I know it's a 90% of a 90%, but that's still going to be 81% or greater, right? So why wouldn't you use that to your advantage? These are numbers that are worth pursuing. Again, makes lineup building easier. This also can get you on Jordan Spieth. I like Ben Griffin. I think I want to put him in at least 41% of my lineups. Out of those 3 golfers, I also really don't really care about Jordan Spieth all that much, but I'm comfortable now playing him like 16%, I guess. And Jackson Koivin, I'll probably put at 20%. So that first group for me, I could have a total ownership of like 75%. 75% of my lineups will start with one of those guys. I think that's about right. Group 2, Jacob Bridgman, JT Poston, and Eric Cole. Another great pairing that helps me decide which golfers I really want to put in my lineups. If I start with Ben Griffin, I can easily get to any of these 3 golfers. But if I don't start with Griffin, I don't start with Koivin, I don't start with Spieth, and I start with like Eric Cole, JT Poston, or Jacob Bridgman, I'm probably going to be like, oh, what do I do next? Well, they're not going to let me put those 3 golfers. The optimizer won't let me put 2 of those golfers in a lineup together, 2 or more. So it makes all the hard choices for me. And speaking of hard choices, sorry, let's do this again. Come on. Okay. Did we figure it out? Oh my God. Why can't I do it? That's so stupid. All right, whatever. Fighting it too much. Third group is Chris Goddard, Keegan Bradley, Tom Kim. What I was talking about, hard choices. I like Tom Kim this week. I don't want to play him in all of my lineups. But me liking Tom Kim means I can avoid golfers like Keegan Bradley and Chris Goddard. This could be a week you just anchor down on certain golfers and just live with it. Ride and die. Group 4 is Keith Mitchell, Ricky Fowler, Zach Johnson. I'm not playing that much Zach Johnson. I also don't really care to play that much Ricky Fowler. So this could be a good reason to play Keith Mitchell. And it could be a good start to your lineups to go with Keith Mitchell, then jump up to Jackson Quavin. Maybe also put another 9K golfer in your lineup like Eric Cole, or put a golfer like Tom Kim into your lineup. So you could go, 10, 9, 8, or 10, 9, 9. You could do any of those combinations and it would work just fine. Group 5, Sungjae, Tony Finau, Andrew Novak. I am not pushing to play any of these guys. Finau does pop a little bit in some of these lineups, so I don't mind going to Finau. Sungjae, I don't mind playing Sungjae, just straight up period. Sungjae's a fine play. The next group, Wallace, Rio Satsune, Zach Blair. Don't really have much to say there. Seamus Power, Mac Hughes, Kevin Roy for Group 7. Also don't have anything to say there. Group 8 is Davis Thompson, Max Homa, Brian Campbell. Well, here's a good reason not to play Davis Thompson. If you like Max Homa, there you go. If you're looking for a reason to pivot off of Max Homa, Davis Thompson's your guy. Or possibly Brian Campbell. Maybe a good reason to play Brian Campbell at $6,600. And then Group 9 is Aldrich Potgieter, Stephen Fisk, and Garrick Higo. I'm not really forcing myself to play any of those guys. But if you liked any of them, here's a good reason as to why you should play them. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are your Marquee Tee Times. So we're going to start building lineups here pretty soon. Before we do that, we're going to do a roll call. Let's just do this. There you go. Easy peasy. Just type in the chat. Let's hit the sweet spot. That's roll call number 2. And while we do that, I'm going to put some music in it. I was already playing. Hell yeah. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Ryan. Let me send some optimizers out too. I saw some requests come in and I wasn't able to do it at work. All right, Ryan, I sent you your optimizer. I sent one to Ricky. I don't know if Ricky's in the chat. All right, Eric Bruce. All right. Let's get into lineup building. So for those that have a badge next to your name, find me 2 to 4 golfers you want me to build lineups around. You don't have to pick golfers from the Marquee Tee Times. It is encouraged, but you don't have to. And I will build lineups using the optimizer, which the optimizer will select at least 2 of those guys if you don't. Okay. AJ with Griffin Homa. Double J coming in. Double J. Okay. AJ with Griffin and Homa. Easy peasy. I'm going to change all of these ownership things. Actually, let's go. Let's just do the gentleman's number. Down to the AK range. Said Griffin, and Homa. 5 lineups for you, starting now. First lineup: Ben Griffin, Jacob Bridgman, Rico Hoey, Blades Brown, Homa, and Taylor Moore. 10-9 and 4 7s. That's fine. That's fine. Griffin, Cootie, Hisatsune, Yellow Mirage, Homa, Boshu. Love it. Love it. Griffin, Fowler, Grazerman, Meisner, Potgieter, and Homa. Look at that. We got a lot of the names that I said I don't mind playing. That I actually like playing. Griffin, Fowler, Cootie, Homa, Grillo, and Ewert. Dude, seriously, some good lineups. Goddard, Griffin, 2 10s? Oof. Oof. I don't know about that. You know, if you want to be a little risky, you could do this. 2 10s, 3 7s, 1 6. Fine. Let me build a different one, though. Still 2 10s. There we go. Griffin, Cole, Fowler, Homa, Kiefer, Vince, Whaley. All right. Those were your lineups, Mr. AJ Love. I forgot to clear out the old ones that we built yesterday or last week. Oh, these are mine. Never mind. These are not yours. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, AJ. There are your lineups right there. You even get an AJ. AJ Ewert. All right. Trying to figure out what's the best way to go with this, because you just use up all of Max Homa. Let's go ahead and put 100%. Just say it's okay to play some more Max Homa. Everyone else good? Sure, we should build different lineups still. Yeah, you'll still have opportunities to play these guys. Okay, cool. Alrighty then. Moving on. Ryan wants Griffin, Bridgman, Grazerman, but also needs 1 Shank lineup. Okay. Griffin, Bridgman. Griffin, Bridgman, and Grazerman. Maximum Grazerman. Here we go. 5 lineups for you, sir. First one, Griffin, Bridgman, Grazerman, Homa, Jackson Suber, Kevin Yu. You even get a little Homa love in there. Ooh. That's a lot of Homa. Maybe we put it down to 95%. This one's good, though. Griffin, Bridgman, Grazerman, Kim, Homa, Hodges. Griffin, Bridgman, Grazerman, Bezadenhout, Berger, and EVR. Okay. 10, 9, and 4 7s is just the thing that's happening. No 8K golfers? Why? What is up with that? Griffin, Bridgman, Grazerman, Brown, Pot Geeter, and Kevin Roy. Not terrible. And then 1 Adam Shank lineup. Mr. Shanky Shanks. Where are we at? Mr. Shanky Shanks. There you go. 1 Shank lineup. Coming up. It is Griffin, Bridgman, Grazerman, Michael Kim, Rico Hoey, and Shank. Let's try something without Hoey. Okay, this one's fine. Griffin, Bridgman, Thompson, Grazerman, Michael Kim, and Adam Shank. 1098-776. There you go. That is 1 Adam Shank lineup. Okadoke. Nathan Johnson. Poston, Sungjae Grillo. That is a different lineup right there. Poston. Sung Bae. And Grillo. All right. So you get JT Poston, Fowler, Cootie, Sungjae, Grillo, Boshu. That's not terrible. Poston, Thorbjornsson, Fowler, M, Grillo, AJ Ewert. There we go. Koiven, Poston, M, Seabez, Pendrith. Actually, this lineup right here, Nathan, I like this one a lot. This is so different. Even if you went, I don't think anyone's even remotely getting close to copying you. Goddard, Poston, M, Kiefer, Grillo, Lipsky. I'm not a fan of Lipsky. I'm going to say no. This one's different. Koiven, Poston, M, McCarthy, Kiefer, and Grillo. Last one. Goddard, Poston, Sungjae, Rico, Grillo, Streelman. You know what? That one's fine. I'm gonna build you a different one. I don't know if I want that guy. Although old people have done well here before, so yeah, Streelman's not a bad play. This one's Mitchell, Poston, M, Yellow Mirage, Grillo, Patrick Rogers. I'd much rather have this lineup than the one I just built you. Okay, there we go. We got some good ones out there. Okie dokie. Eric Bruce. Mitchell, Kim, and Berger. Mitchell, Kim, Danny Berger. There we go. Five lamps for Nathan. You are welcome, sir. We get Mitchell, Pearson, Cootie, Tom Kim, Blades, Brown, Berger, and Homa. Holy crap, dude. What a lineup. I know this is unfair. I wasn't planning on highlighting anybody's lineup, but I really like that one. Mitchell, Bridgman, Tom Kim, Hoey, Berger, Lipsky. I really don't care for Lipsky. Mitchell, Tom Kim, Satsune, Yellow Miraju, Bezadenhout, and Danny Berger. That's a really good lineup. Mitchell, man, making some good lineups. Mitchell, Bridgman, Kim, Berger, Rogers, Kevin. I don't want that one. Mitchell, Cole, Tom Kim, Berger, Homa, and Kevin Yu. Yeah, what another great lineup. Holy moly. Such a good lineup. Mitchell, Bridgman, Tom Kim, Berger, Yeager, and Fishburne. That is so different. This might work. Mitchell, Bridgman, Tom Kim, Berger, Kuchar, Kevin Roy. Man. Kenny Kim. Loves Mac. No, not Kenny Kim. More, somebody from the Mayo thing. Loves Kuchar. It's not terrible. This could be the week that Bo Hauser figures shit out. And if that's the case, this is such a deadly lineup. Mitchell, Cootie, Tom Kim, Hoey, Berger, Hauser. I'm going to save that because I have a feeling that Hauser's actually going to do something good this week. All right, if there's anybody else out there that has a badge next to their name that would like a lineup built, I will build them for you. Otherwise, I'm calling it a night. I do not need to build more than one. I do encourage you guys to go watch the preview video that Byron and I did for Sunday night, because that was good. It's really good. Like I said, I put timestamps in my video. You can go to the John Deere Classic preview down in the timestamps to go check out the things we talked about. It is 3 hours long. I'm still adding timestamps to it because, again, I think it's really good, and I will be watching it. I already started watching it, but I will be watching it more to relearn the things that we learned during that stream. And I will be mentioning them tomorrow night on the members only stream, which you need to be a white tier member and above in order to watch it. Yeah. Yeah, this is good. Any questions? Anybody? Anything? I'm going to move it over here. Put this on the screen. I gave you guys 3 minutes to figure out if you got any questions or anything like that. Anybody else new in the chat that has a badge next to your name, if you'd like the lineups built, I'll build you lineups. Anything I missed about anything? Anything about anything? Let's see, who did we not play? Jordo was not selected. Keegan Bradley was not selected. Chris Goddard was not selected. Although there were some Goddard lineups that did come through that I just said no to. No Doug Gim. Whoa. Okay, so if I was building a lineup, Doug Gim is selected. Mac Meisner is selected. I don't want Blades Brown in my lineups. What was the options? Oh, and then Ben Griffin. I think it's something like this. I'm gonna start lineups like that. I like Kevin Yu. Did the optimizer pick him? Yeah, optimizer picked him a few times. Griffin, Cootie, Gim, Meisner, Boshu, Kevin Roy. That's not a terrible lineup. Griffin, Gim, Meisner, 10-8 and 4-7s. That's kind of icky. I don't like that. Don't really care for Rico Hoey or Taylor Pendrith. Griffin, Gim, Hisatsune, Meisner, Homa, and Zach Boshu. I like that. That's pretty good. Logan, what's up, man? Sorry I missed a bit of this. It's all good. Griffin, Gim, Hisatsune, Meisner, Homa, Kiefer. That's good too. Griffin, Gim, Yellow Miraju, Meisner, Blades Brown, Max Homa. Oh, hell yeah. A lot of Max Homa. So the optimizer loves Max Homa. Good to know. Don't care for Lipsky. Bridgman gets added to this with Davis Riley. Griffin, Bridgman, Gim, Meisner, Taylor, Moore, Davis Riley. That's interesting. Griffin, Gim, Hisatsune, Meisner, Bezadenhout, and AJ Ewert. 10-8-8, 3-7s. Oh, sign me the hell up for that lineup. That one is dangerous. Yes, you can, Logan. You certainly can. You're going to be the last one, though, unless a new guy comes in with a badge next to their name that wants a lineup built. Ooh, Hoagie? Griffin, Cootie, Gim, Meisner, Homa, Hoagie. Yeah, sign me up, dude. Sign me up. Those are my 5 lineups. Hot diggity damn. Love it. AJ Ewert, Kim, and M. I'm guessing that's Tom Kim. Oak a doke. Okay. First lineup. Bridgman, Tom Kim, Michael Brennan, Sung J M, Rico Hoey, and AJ Ewert. That's not bad. We're just gonna get the same thing because somehow Sungjae is lower than Brennan and also lower than Hoey. We know we don't want Hoey all that much. Let's kick him out. Bridgman, Thorbjornsson. Is that the first Thorbjornsson lineup? We had one other one. Bridgman, Thorbjornsson, Tom Kim, Sungjae M, AJ Ewert, and Kevin Roy. That one's pretty good. Bridgman, Thorbjornsson, Tom Kim, Sung JM, Kevin Yu. There you go, AJ. There's Kevin Yu for you. That's a pretty good lineup. Bridgman, Thorbjornsson. Okay, that's a lot of Thorbjornsson. Still a lot of Thorbjornsson. We'll kick him out. Kick him out. Kick him out. Next one is Bridgman, Fowler, Tom Kim, Sung JM, William Mao, and Ewert. That's an interesting one. Different. Last one's probably the best one. Bridgman, Tom Kim, Sung JM, Hisatsune, Yellow Miraju, and AJ Ewert. The phenomenal AJ Ewert. Alrighty. That's it. We'll go ahead and put you in, Wheels. All right, gentlemen. I'm taking off. I'm tired. I am so tired. Appreciate y'all being here. Again, I'll be live tomorrow night for members only on the YouTube channel. Hit the join button, select the white tier membership and above, and that will give you access to that stream where I will, again, go over everything that I possibly can, find a few more details, a few more golfers that I want to build my lineups around, and provide that information for each and every one of you. And then I'll be building my own lineups, showing you that I practice what I preach. But that will be tomorrow at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I am out of here. Hopefully you found some good lineups that you liked, some information you haven't heard of this week, and some golfers to get onto. That's it. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.